welcome to Thursday. Oh, I don't know why I had such a voice right then. That was a little bit odd. How funny. How bloody funny. So hi, welcome to Thursday. I trust that you are fantastic and amazing as always. And good morning, Margaret. Something that I wanted to talk with you about today is actually a really, really important message. And it's a conversation that I've had with many people. It's a conversation I've had with pretty much every client I've ever worked with. And this is around the topic of like mindset work, right? So I was journaling this morning so I was booked in to do a radio interview at the ABC today, and before I got in there, I'm like, I'm going to go have a coffee with Dom, I'm going to do my journaling, and I was like, it's always curious to see what comes up and out of my journal, and because I don't normally have this inkling or this feeling about what's going to come out. And so today I was journaling, and I've talked about, how amazing this year has been. I don't know how your 2019 has been, but it's been a really amazing year for me on so many different levels. And it got me thinking about, how freaking grateful I am, how grateful I am for my decisions, how grateful I am for my clients, how grateful I am for me, actually, which sounds a little bit interesting. So I'll explain it a little bit. So for those of you, hey Carmen. So for those of you who have, like, I don't know when you guys went to school, but I know when I was at school, there was this really big push particularly in primary school even actually, to try and work out what it was that you wanted to do. But then come year 10, year 11, there was all of these things where we had to decide and had to articulate and have interviews with the teachers about what university course we wanted to do, what degrees we wanted to do, hey Mary, and all of this kind of thing. And I was kind of like I was very much back then, I'm like, I don't think I want to go to university. I don't know what I want to do. I would kind of dance between, wanting to go and study law, which I thought, I'm really good at arguing. I used to be really good at arguing. These days, I'm just like, I'm not arguing with you. I got nothing to prove. Like, I'm not interested. So, but back then I was like, well, maybe I could be a lawyer. Thought maybe I could be in drama. Maybe I could do all of these other things. And it was nothing that I really felt like this zing with, right? There was nothing that I felt or found that I was just like, yes, I am going to go and do this. And actually, looking around, even if I look through my memory now, the people that I went to school with, there were really very few people back then who seemed to have that level of certainty around what it was that they really wanted to do. And I don't know what the numbers are, maybe 90% of people applied for a university course and were really like gung-ho in year 12 about getting their ATAR scores, although it was the SACE scores. I don't know anyway, we didn't have ATAR scores back then. It was very different. We had to do PES subjects or SAS subjects or something else. Anyway, I don't know, 20 years ago, more. I just snorted. That's awkward. More than 20 years ago. Oh my God, that's disgusting. Anyway, okay, so let's just, gloss over that little bit there. One of the things that I really remember was that there was not many of us really seemed to know what it was that we wanted to do, yet most people applied for university. And I just remember having this feeling within me. It's like, maybe I'll go and do book in, enroll to do an arts degree, and then I could, defer it for a year if I wanted to. And then I was kind of like, what, if I go and do that, then, imagine that and this is my literal thinking in year 12, it's like if somebody else, like say the person next to me, wanted to really literally at school or in somewhere else, was really, really excited to go and do an arts degree. And if I was the person that took their place, then I would feel really devastated. It's not something that I really wanted to do. I was doing it. I was thinking about this because I felt like I had to do it. right? And so I was just, my parents were not pushing in order to go to university. They were okay for me to make my decisions. But it really made me, I guess I was thinking about it this morning, and I think that was the first time that I really remember really trusting my own instincts and my own intuition, right? So it's just like, no, I just don't feel like this is it just doesn't feel like the right thing to do. And so I did not apply for university, much to the displeasure of the school. And, you know, thinking about that, I think that's more about the school running their agenda around the percentage of people wanting to boast about the percentage of people that go to university and things like that. But we've got a really, really big freaking problem in this country in particular. I don't know what it's like anywhere else, but where people go through and they spend 4 years, 3 or 4 years studying at uni, and they might spend at best, you guys, at best, 3 years working in with the qualification that they've been qualified with. Right? So 3 years. So you've gone to spend 3 or 4 years of your life studying at university, spending how much money in student loans, student debt, HECS, whatever it is that, depending on where you're at, to then go and spend 3 years working in the industry in which you've become qualified to then most people will then go and do a career change. I don't know what the percentages are, but I know that they're really horrific. So, to me, it's like, man, instead we've got this really big problem, and I see this mirrored in business as well, right? Where people are like, you've got to go and do this, you've got to go and do that. And it doesn't give it doesn't give people the chance to actually think about what it is that they really, really want, the way that it is that they really want to do it. We're not taught to think. We're not taught to trust our intuition. We're not taught how to really kind of like tap into ourselves and make the best and the right decisions for us. We're always looking for external answers and for we tend to just kind of go in the way that we're directed. And I think it's a really big problem. The statistics for small business are horrific. When you look at 70% of businesses don't even exist in 10 years, that's really terrible. So we're fighting the odds of even being successful, right? We are fighting the odds of getting through. For you to be profitable is a different story. For you to actually, be making a really solid, good income from the business can be really, really hard. And to me, it's like, okay, well, if you are able to actually tap back in to who you are, what you're all about, then I know that this is half the battle. So how this applies to like my situation. So I started this business years ago, 2010. So, I've been doing, and I had a business before that. So I've been in my own business while still being in corporate for some of that time, for 13 years or something like that. So when I look at this particular business, right, and I look at the way that I've done it and the way that I run it, some of the things that I've been told and the ways that I have to do things or the ways that I should do things haven't always felt right. But I would do them because it was the things that we were told to do, right? And it's just not that I never did anything out of integrity or unethical, but it was still like trying to run, hey, Jeanette, kind of like running and listening to somebody else's way of doing things. A little bit like being in high school, being pathwayed into a certain type of thing. And I suppose the thing that's really, I think, kept me going has been this mindset around, and all right, I will always find a way to move forward. Sometimes that way becomes apparent really quickly. Sometimes that way becomes apparent over a longer period of time, which is really annoying. Particularly when I'm like, fast results, please, hurry the fuck up and, let's make things happen. But the results, I guess the thing that keeps things going is this mindset, right? It's your mindset. That is the only thing that is different between, successful people and people that go out of business or unsuccessful people. So what we've got to get really great at doing is recalibrating, get really great at learning to trust ourselves, to learning to trust our intuition, learning to trust what it is that you know that we're really feeling and things like that. Because if you're being pulled or called to make a choice or make a pivot in your business, if you're being pulled, called, or if you've got these little inklings, not as a self-sabotage thing, but more as a, you know, hey girl, I think that you should be like, yeah, maybe you should, it's time to evolve. Maybe it's time to try something different. If you get those pings, you've really got to get really great at listening to them. And so to me, what's really funny, or not funny, but what I find really interesting is, you know, I am how I am. And it just, to me, it's really normal. One of my best friends has told me that I have the most ridiculous amount of grit, that she hasn't met anyone who is quite so determined, resilient, gritty, and just constantly keeps going, right? Resilient, I suppose, is the word that kind of comes to mind. And I don't know that she used that word, but that's my word for that. And to me, it's like, well, you know, that there are so many times in this business where I could have shut up shop, and in fact there are some instance where I'm just like, you know, I'm so freaking done. But then what I'll do is I'll actually, and I'm going to go a little woo woo for a second, I'll come back and I will say in my journaling, like my handwritten journaling, or I used to type my journaling, or it's almost like being in prayer, but you know, I don't tend to pray in the sense that a lot of people do. I pray to God. It's more like a meditation type thinking, you know, asking for a sign, talking to the universe, which, you know, some people might say to God or whatever. And it's just like, you know what? There comes a point where we've really got to surrender, right? And go, okay, you know what? If this is really what I'm supposed to be doing, then, you know, you guys, you've got to give me a freaking sign. And so I'll ask for the sign. I'll ask for the energy. I'll ask for the strength. And when I'm asking, it's like I'm also assuming that it's going to come through. But this is a mindset thing, right? It's not that the magic isn't necessarily in the act of doing this stuff. It's like having the mindset and having the awareness that we've got to find these ways of tapping back into our hearts, tapping back into who we really are, and tapping back into our intuition. Because if you've got these gut feelings, if you're being pulled in a certain direction, there's usually one of two things happening. Number one, you're sabotaging the shit out of yourself, and in which case it's like it could be the squirrely shiny things and you've got to nip those in the bud. You know, explore the option, you know, is this something that I really want to evolve and do, or is it just another shiny thing? You know, have I really given this a red hot freaking go, or am I playing it safe? The second thing that might be happening is that it's that calling of your soul, right? And if you keep getting these soul pulls almost, hey Jessica, if you keep getting these soul pulls to go and do something different, to evolve and to change and to like trust this new path, then we've really got to listen to it, right? Because that is your intuition pulling you in a certain direction. Now, what's kind of really curious about this, and actually I had a conversation with a client about this morning at 6:00, where we were talking about how, you know, there is so much abundance in the world, right? So if you're someone that came up to me and you're like, Nick, I freaking love marketing, I'm really good at it, people have been asking me, you know, how I can help them, and, you know, I'm just wondering if you can help me build a business out of that. And you're like, yeah, girlfriend, you know, let's freaking go. How exciting. Totally, you should be able to do that. You can do that. Because to me, like, if that's your soul pull, if that's the way that your intuition is kind of guiding you to pivot, evolve, change, or step into this next up-leveled version of you, whatever that is, then it's like, you know, there is enough to go around for a start, right? So I can still be wildly successful. You can still be wildly successful. There is so much abundance and so much goodness and so many people and so many clients and so much beautiful ways of us being able to help people to go around, that scarcity is just kind of not even an option. So like if you've got this pull a lot of the time we play that down. I know I did in like, way back when, like 2012, I was working with clients from a style and branding perspective with how they can really create the, you know, when they walk in a room, how you can create that gasp of people from a personal branding perspective, both in the room and online. And I kept being asked, you know, how did you find me? How do you do this, Nicola? How do you build the funnels? You know, how did you do your ads? And so I was like, well, you know, to me, it feels like the next logical step. It feels like I'm being kind of like pulled in this direction. But I was like, I don't want to step on my mentor's toes. I don't want to teach what they're teaching, which it was not. Because, you know, number one, I'm me and there's different experiences and all of that kind of thing. But it was really like, oh, you know, I don't want to, I don't want to step on their toes. And the thing that we've got to remember is that there can be, you might have someone close to you in your industry or a mentor that you're working with. If you're being pulled in a certain direction, it's the kind of thing that we've really got to listen to and trust and honor, because it will only get louder and louder, and it will only fracture the things that you've got in place if you keep resisting the call and the pull, in my opinion anyway. So that's that. I think the thing that we've been educated and the way that we've been ingrained and institutionalized is to go down certain paths, and we have to do this and we have to do that. And I think the key for you being successful, the only way that you're going to keep being able to build that grit, that resilience, that tenacity, that you know, I'm just going to keep goingness in yourself and in your business, is to understand the way that your intuition, the way that universe, God, whatever, the way that can come through you, and how we can then use that as a force for good in the world and in the way that you build your business. So mindset is key. Now, interestingly, mindset is one of the conversations that I have, probably not interestingly or curiously, it's you know, pretty obvious actually. You know, mindset is something that I work on with my clients for the most part. Out of all of the things, yes, we talk about marketing, yes, we talk about strategy, yes, we talk about internet stuff, yes, we talk about programs and courses and events and, you know, all of that kind of thing. But at the bottom foundation of everything is mindset, and the way that we can really cultivate a strong mindset of someone who is resilient, of someone who is able to keep going, of someone who is able to trust in their heart, their intuition and their soul with what it is that they need to do next, is always the kind of like the key and the core conversation that I have ongoing with everyone. So what I did going back a few months ago was I created the $1 Million Success Mindset visualizations, meditations, and journaling hacks series. And it was like somebody had said to me, oh, I wish that I'd had you in my head, in my day, every single day, just to motivate and inspire and you know, move me along. And so that was where I decided to create the $1 Million Success Mindset visualization and journaling hacks. Now, I have been selling these for $99. I've been gifting them to existing clients because, you know, they're just ridiculously important. And what I've decided to do for birthday month, because I've been selling them for $99, I've decided to make them $12.12 because my birthday is 12/12. So if you know that working on your mindset is really key, if you know that you need that motivation, inspiration, that daily kind of hit so that you can really trust in you, your intuition, and be more creative and allow that to fall out and unleash out from within you, then you've got to jump into this journaling hack series. So it's like 10%, it's like 90% off or some ridiculous number. I didn't even do the math. It's literally $12.12. So jump into that. It is epic. And what I go through with you is this. So it's all about you really reprogramming yourself to trust, to step in. There's marketing hacks. There's all of this in here. So we get into your zone of genius. We look at what you can create. We talk about pricing your stuff. So it's really like the way that from what I've noticed with people who are doing more than $1 million a year, my friends and colleagues, I look at what I've done over the years to do over $5 million in sales online Yes, $5 million in sales online over the years, and more than that actually. And, all of the things that I've needed to rely on and draw upon in order to still be here. There is not many people. If I look at the people who are around now from when I was starting up, there is not many people. So really the only thing that made me any different, because I don't have a sugar daddy, I don't have we don't have any other resources. My husband works full time and did not make a huge wage. So I had to make money. There was no silver spoon. It was like, a lot of the times it was like, shit, are we going to have to move out of the house in order to, and then rent it out and go and live in with my in-laws? There's been so many different times along the way that, that things have been really hairy and really, really scary. And mindset is the only thing that keeps you moving forward. A positive mindset is the only thing that keeps you moving forward. So that's what all of this is about. So launching your stuff, relaxing into things, visualizing your success, being yourself in all of the things that you're doing, remembering who you are, quietening the terrorist in your head, journaling, relentlessly pursuing your things that you want with really great boundaries, being prosperous, relaxation stuff, journaling. What else can you do? Content ideas, reminding you that you're a badass, and so many more things. Money, all of the, that's the handwritten version of what goes on in there. It's really freaking amazing. And literally for $12.12. I think you're mad not to buy it, to be honest. So you should just go do that, because mindset is everything, right? The way that you show up is everything, but that comes from mindset. The way that you put your content out there, the way that you step into the spotlight, the way that you make yourself visible, it all comes back down to mindset. So that's it, my friends. Doing things in a way that's not necessarily the way that it's kind of really opposite to the way that we've been educated, because I want you to come back to trusting you. I guess one of the things that I love about the way that I work with people is like, I don't say, well, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do that, right? The way that I come at this is like, well, what do you want to do? What feels right for you? And then let's work a strategy into the way that you want to do things. I don't think that everybody should be going out there and being clones of me. I want you, there's one of me's enough in the world. But I want you to be you, because that's who your people are going to resonate with. But we've got to come back to you being able to trust in your own heart, your own soul, your own intuition, your own mission, so that you can do the work that you're really here to do. And that's really what this is all about. So have a ridiculously amazing day on this day, the 5th of December. Now, this $12.12 $1 million success mindset stuff is only available for the first 100 people. So if you want in, jump in now. $12.12. It's cheaper than your lunch, and it will support you forever. So there you are, my friends. I am going to love you and leave you. Remember to do things your way. Get out there, be your awesome and amazing self that you are. Go help some people, have a whole ton of fun doing it. And remember that the world is ready for your brand of awesomeness. Take care, and I will chat with you tomorrow for the next most amazing birthday present release. Have a great day, everyone. Bye. Mwah.